Welcome, welcome to our channel Electrical and Control Engineering. Today we will discuss the modeling of a PV in the Simulink and then followed by an MPP, maximum power point tracker, and this is the DC-DC converter, and this DC-DC converter will be operated by this MPPT to extract the maximum power from this PV module. And at the end we have connected for just now just a constant resistance load for analysis purpose. Later on we will change, and we can also change a pump or battery or whatever, like a DC bus, whatever where we want to connect, we will connect it. So first of all, so let's discuss from where we have selected our model. I will give different references. We are taking some portion of the PV model from this research paper. Actually, this research paper is not is taking the PV model from another author. That is a well recognized and well reputed, accepted paper. We will discuss also it in detail while implementing it in the MATLAB. So if we discuss our PV module, the ideal PV module, the practical, that's the most accurate model is given by this diagram. This is the PV actual ideal model, and this is the reverse diode, shunt resistance as series resistance. So concluding all this, and instead of wasting all the time by repeating the literature review, just concluding it, so we can show here that the most accurate model of the PV module of a single cell can be shown by this diagram. This I short circuit is the ideal current of an PV module. We can also call it a photovoltaic current of an PV module. The current will here be this reverse diode connected in parallel with this PV module, and current ID will be flowing through this one, and this is the shunt resistance and this is the series resistance, and the load is connected here. Here are some parameters. The ID is the current flowing through this reverse diode. I0 is the saturation current of this diode current, I0, and Vc is the cell voltage, Q is the charge of electron, and A is the ideality constant K similarly, and Tc is the cell temperature. So if we consider it, what will be this current, what will be the current that will be provided to the load in this direction here. So current that will be flowing here will be equal to the total current, the current I short circuit, or this the ideal current, minus the current that is flowing through this diode in this direction, that's the I0 into this this exponential friction, that's the diode current, minus the current that is flowing through this shunt branch. And what will current will be flowing through this shunt branch, that will be equal to the voltage across this resistance divided by this parallel shunt resistance. So voltage across this is this V, this V open circuit voltage, and then the current flowing in this direction IRS. So this one and adding this one will be the current, will be the voltage across this shunt resistance. So if we divide that voltage by an RP, this resistance, then will be current that will flowing through this one. So if the total current that is generated here, ideally if we subtract this ID and this the shunt current, this one the diode current and this the shunt current, then the current remaining will be that current that is provided to the load. So this is the exact model. So while implementing it in the MATLAB, there may be a little bit, because if we see that the current that we are finding here is I here, again the same current, the same variable I is here, and again this exponential function, so it's not possible to calculate it directly through any method. So this will be solved by iterative techniques like Newton-Raphson and Gauss-Seidel, whatever you like, but here we will use the Newton-Raphson method. So while discussing the MATLAB implementation, so first of all we will select an PV module, characteristics of the PV. We just need the open circuit voltage and the the Vmax and the Imax. We just need these two things, IMP and VMP. So a little simplified, but it also gives more accurate results just by eliminating that shunt branch. And we will consider it while current generation, but we will ignore in some cases and that shunt branch. But the results will be, we have compared it, we have simulated it, and it's well published model, accepted in a journal and conferences. So we will use this one. I short circuit, as I again previously repeated, that's the current produced by an ideal PV. This is the diode ID current in this direction, and this will that will be the current flowing in this direction. It will be I, that's flowing through this load. So for time being now, we are considering the parallel, the shunt system as infinite. We are ignoring it just for simplicity. While in calculations we will also consider it later on. So if we ignore it, though, so the other part that here that was subtracting the shunt branch current was ignored, is not present there because we have eliminated the shunt branch here. So the I will be equal the total current, the load current will be the total current generator, I short circuit ISC minus diode current, that's given by this equation. So if you subtract this current by this one, then the remaining current will be the load current flowing here in this direction. So again, if we see that it's not possible to directly calculate this I current I, because the same current is again, this current is also present in this exponential. So it's very difficult to calculate this by direct methods. So as I already discussed it, that we will use iterative techniques to solve this equation. So here the V is the cell voltage, the individual cell. This equation is for this model is also for an individual cell. So we will see also in parallel the MATLAB modeling of this this PV cell. So here is the PV modeling of that individual cell. Again, ID, I inverse saturation current, cell voltage, Q, N, K, and temperature. The values of the constants, and N is ideality constant of a diode. Its value is in between 1 and 2. Some authors use some equations to calculate this one, and some of them choose them arbitrarily. Some choose to take it from a data sheet of the PV module. That's band gap energy. For silicon it's 1.12. So the PV model that we are simulating has a series 10 cells, and in parallel there are 6 arrays. So, and the reference temperature is 25 centigrade, converting into Kelvin 298. Open circuit voltage will be the divided by the open circuit voltage divided by the series cell. Similarly, the short circuit current will be short circuit current of an individual cell will be equal to total short circuit current of that PV module which we are simulating, divided by the number of the parallel cells. A is the temperature coefficient of that short circuit the ideal current being generated by the PV module. So first of all, we have to calculate this short circuit, this PV module current. This is the cell voltage is given the module voltage divided by the cell number of in series. So we have calculated this equation, implemented this equation here, and the next thing is to calculate that current that is being generated by this PV module at ideal condition and at those conditions when the temperature is varying and the irradiation varying. We will calculate it in detail. So the I short circuit is that's given from the constant value is given from is taken from the data sheet, but it's dependent on the temperature and in the irradiance. At the reference temperature, the value of the short circuit is given by this equation, that at reference temperature this value is taken from the data sheet, and at the given at any instant temperature T, separating it from the reference temperature and multiplied by and etc etc, we can calculate the PV ideal current, that represented by ISC, the photovoltaic current of a cell of an PV module at any temperature T will be given by this. But at the same time, the PV module current or the photovoltaic current of a PV cell is also dependent on the G. So multiplying this one by G, our G normalized by 1000, so it will give the photovoltaic current of a cell according to the specific G and a specific temperature T for any given. So we can calculate the photovoltaic temperature by this equation. So if photovoltaic current by this equation by at any temperature and any irradiance. So we have calculated this one here at any temperature. That's the photovoltaic for a single cell calculated from a data sheet. This one taken from data sheet divided by parallel cells, and 1 plus A into T ambient minus T reference as given here. This one, T ambient temperature minus T reference temperature, and photovoltaic of a cell at any temperature and any G, if you multiplied this one by a G and then divided it by 1000, because the standard, the reference one, this G naught is 1 kilowatt. So for now we have calculated this IC for any time, for any irradiance and for any temperature. So the next thing is to calculate this diode current. So the main thing in this diode current is this saturation current, inverse saturation current. So this inverse saturation current ideally is given by this equation, but this inverse saturation current is also dependent on the temperature. As the temperature increases, then the current flowing through this reverse diode also varies. It varies. So we have to accommodate that temperature variation in this reverse saturation current. So if we multiplied this reverse saturation current any difference over T by this factor, then it will give the reverse saturation current at any temperature T. So I will be the at any given temperature T can be calculated from the following equation. So I naught in this one, then multiplied by T any temperature by reference temperature 3 over n e power minus q over n key Eg over 1 over T, that specific temperature at which we want to calculate that inverse saturation current, minus 1 over T reference. I think it's now more clear. So it's implemented here, this one I shall say divided by V exponential. This is the standard at any reference temperature, that's I short circuit divided by V exponential V open circuit divided by V T R key. This is calculated always N K Q over Q T. This is a variable calculated here. So this is simply these things. This is the power of this exponential one. So I photon hour divided by this e raised to this one minus 1 is calculated there, this one. So to calculate the inverse saturation current at any temperature, so we have to multiply it with ambient temperature at any ambient temperature divided by reference raised to power 3 over n exponential minus b. Minus b is calculated here is Eg q over nq divided by Vt reference temperature. Sorry, here 1 over T at any temperature minus 1 over T reference temperature. The same thing as we have discussed here. T over T reference raised to power 3 over n e power this one. This is was as B, and 1 over T minus 1 over T reference. This is calculated here. So up till now we have calculated in this model, we have calculated this one, this inverse saturation current, this photon current. So the remaining thing is the series resistance shown in this model. So this is still unknown. So if we able to calculate this one, then we will be able to use the iterative techniques to calculate the value of this I. So this I value is R. The series resistance is calculated from the dV by di slope, and the value of the dV by di is taken from the data sheet. So this is the equation. If we take the dV by di of this equation and rearranging, then the RS will be equal to dV by dt, di by dV minus some this relationship. So again RS is also present there, and we can evaluate this at open circuit voltage. At that case the I will be 0. So the I will be 0, so this term will be neglected, so it will be more simplified to this relationship. So we calculating the value of the shunt resistance when at open circuit voltage, when the current flowing through this cell is 0. So it simplified our relationship. RS is equal to, and this at open circuit voltage dV by di is given in the data sheet. So IV curve of the data sheet taken, this we take this from data sheet. The remaining else, everything is known. So again we have also calculated the RS series. So the impact of this series resistance on the PV IV characteristics of a PV module is given by this equation. If it's 0, then it's more like the steep and slope reduces if we increase the value of R, this series resistance. So as already discussed, and that it's not possible to directly calculate this to solve this equation, because as I already discussed that the I is also there, and also I is that current is also in the exponential. So by any linear and non-linear, it cannot be solved directly. So we have to use the iterative techniques like Newton-Raphson method. So here we are using the Newton-Raphson method iterative technique. So in that method you calculate a value of n dependent variables in non-linear complex relationships by this method. So then for the next iteration, you take the previous iteration value of this one, and then minus the function divided by the derivative of that function. So in case our function is this one, I short circuit minus I, if we take all things to the other side, and we consider it as at Fi, because we want to calculate as I. So our function will be this, and if we take the derivative of this, then it will be equal to this one. So this one is the derivative, and this one is the Fi, the upper thing. So this one is the I at n plus 1, it should be equal to In minus F over F derivative, like this one. So we will be using an iterative technique method. So in this case I have simulated it, so for 4 iterations are sufficient. So for surety I have increased those iterations to 6, so to ensure the results that the accurately perfect cell current is calculated. So again let's take to the cell model here. So RS value is calculated from that dV by di at open circuit minus 1 over xv. Xv is the same expression as given by this one is 1 over xv. So all these things are known. This is taken from the data sheet. At open circuit voltage dV by di of an PV module is given this. So RS is known, and inverse saturation current we have calculated it. We have a photon ideal current we have calculated. We have calculated the RS value. So let's implement this equation to calculate the value. So this equation is implemented here. I is equal to I minus I ideal current of a PV cell minus I minus inverse saturation current, and this expression divided by -1 minus inverse saturation current, and this again RS divided by VT into exponential, just like this one, minus I short circuit minus IN minus I naught, this one divided by -1 minus I naught, and some other these things. So exactly the same equation is implemented here. So at the end we have again multiplied this current by, as we are using the n parallel cells, so the total current will be equal to the current of an individual cell multiplied by the parallel cells. So that will be the current of a PV module. So this is our PV module that we have implemented all our code here in this module. So the IV characteristics of a PV module will be like this. So we're working on this 25 centigrade. If you change this reference, so your IV curve will be like this one. If you increase the temperature, it will be going toward the y-axis, close to the y-axis. If the temperature is being reference temperature is being decreased, so it will be going away from this in this direction. So here is our MATLAB model, that's the PV module. So it has two input, as we discussed it. It has G and it has a temperature. The output voltage of a PV is again given to this function, as we have this function, and this is the PV model that we just described. So it has two inputs, G and T, and also take the voltage of PV output terminal voltage of a PV module. So it's calculating the current just like this equation. So it's calculating the current, and here we have taken an current source. That's the input of this current source is this current, that's just we calculated in this function, and this is the diode, and this is the output current of output voltage of this PV module. So the input to this PV module, the G and the TC is given, are present in this. So let's open it. Yes, yeah, it opened. So we have taken this, we have simulated this function for 1 second. So again just consider it for one second, as I have simulated the system for 1 second. So the GA radiation will be something like this. So initially it will be 1000, and then at 0.2 second it will be going to decrease, and then it will be again increase at 0.4 second. Then it will be some remain radiation for 1K up to 0.6, then again it will be decreasing. So ideally the output power and the current of this PV module should follow this G curve. There will also some temperature effects, because at the start the temperature of the cell is 70, then decrease, and then again it's almost like 42, it's being at constant at 42 for the remaining half time. So the main factor will be that of G, that's initially it constant till 0.2, and then decreasing, and then increasing, and then again constant. We have deliberately chosen this G variable G in a different shapes to verify the results of this PV module. So the G and temperature is given to this PV module, and this the PV model we have implemented it. So this is our PV model, and this is the DC-DC converter here. It's a buck boost converter and the buck boost configuration, and here is some displays here. And to achieve the maximum power, we are operating this DC-DC converter through this MPPT. And the design of this buck boost converter is very simple. It's given in our channel. I will also request you to subscribe if you are not already subscribe our channel, Electrical and Control Engineering, where we have specialization in electrical research simulations, and especially in optimizations, design of hybrid renewable energy system, optimization of renewable energy systems, and also other multiple power system optimizations. So again, let's discuss the design of buck boost. Come back to our topic, that buck boost converter design with the MPPT. So the buck boost, its output will be given V in our divided by 1 minus D. If we increase the duty cycle beyond 0.5, then its output will be going to increase. If we decrease the duty cycle below 50%, this output voltage is being decreased. So it's below 50% duty cycle, it's acting like a buck converter. So its inductor can be designed at any specific rated duty cycle at which we want to design it. 1 minus D is equal to V0, that's the output voltage rated at any rated voltage, and divided by that's the ripple current that you can bear in the output current, and that's the switching frequency in that buck boost converter. Similarly, the capacitor size can be given by this D, our that Fs Rs of that, if a resistive load or whatever the resistance of the load, and switching frequency. And again, this is the ripple in the output voltage that you can bear, divided by the rated voltage, that will be a capacitor. For some specific, there are different papers have calculated it for their own purposes. Some has taken has 400 voltage and some 300 voltage. For 400 voltage and duty cycle of 0.56, and the inductor will be like at round about 50, and the capacitor value will be like 1 to microfarad. So the next thing that we are focusing is the design is MPPT tracker that will providing the duty cycle to this buck boost converter to achieve the maximum. So before going to, let's run it. So meanwhile it's running, so let's see the working of that MPPT tracker. So it's taking a little bit time as it is compiling the Simulink model. So before meanwhile it's compiling this model, so let's discuss the MPPT algorithm that we have used. We have used perturbed and observed algorithm. So we have, this is the technique that perturbed and observed technique that we have used. So in this algorithm we take the we measure the voltage and the current of a PV module, we take it, and from that V and I we calculate the power of a PV module and the difference between the present power and the previous power. So K and K minus 1. We hold the previous power in the previous cycle, so we take a difference as a del P. So that's the main decision to choose to increase or decrease the duty cycle. So delta P is greater than 0. It means that the power is being increased in the same direction in which we are increasing the duty cycle. So it has two parts. So if delta P is greater than 0, means the power is being increased in the direction in which we are increasing or decreasing the duty cycle. So let's see whether the duty cycle we have increased or decreased. So we have taken the difference of duty cycle, present duty cycle and the previous duty cycle. So if it's the duty cycle is being increased, so the power is increased, and the duty cycle is after increasing the duty cycle, so it means we should increase the duty cycle further. So if it's yes, so we should further increase the duty cycle. If the power is increasing and the duty cycle is negative, means the difference is negative, means by decreasing the duty cycle the power is being increased, so we should decrease further the duty cycle. That's the philosophy behind the perturb and observe algorithm. So going to the opposite side of this, delta P is greater than no, so the power is being decreased. So by increasing or decreasing, our power is now, by either increasing or decreasing, our power is being decreasing. So let's discuss whether let's find whether we have increased or decreased the duty cycle. So we should go opposite to this one. If it's being increased and as the power is being decreased, so we should go in the opposite direction of this duty cycle. So if it is greater than present duty cycle minus previous is greater than 0, means we have increased the duty cycle and the power is reduced, so we should go opposite to this. So we should decrease the duty cycle, as by increasing the duty cycle the power is reduced, so we should go opposite to that, so decrease it. And in the opposite case, if we have decreased, it's and is not increased, is otherwise it's decrease, and the power is, as we already said, that's not increased, so we should increase the duty cycle, as the power is not being increased and we have reduced the duty cycle. This means, so increase the duty cycle so that the power will be increased. That's the basic. So update the history, load the previous power in the present, the previous one in the past one, this P and the D in the previous values, take it as a previous value, and again next take a fresh V and I and calculate Pi and so on. It will be continue until the simulation ends. So this is the perturb and observe simulation algorithm to find the maximum power tracking of an PV module with the buck boost configuration. You can also use the duty cycle base perturb and observe. There are some also algorithms like the same algorithm, but just in this case we are taking, instead of duty cycle, we are taking as a reference as the voltage. So in this case a little bit different from the previous one. If it is increasing and the voltage is being reduced, the power is increased and the voltage is reduced. So check whether the voltage is increased or reduced. If the voltage is reduced, then increase the duty cycle, otherwise reduce the duty cycle. So if the power is decreasing, then check whether the voltage is reduced or increased. If it is reduced, then decrease the duty cycle. If it's increased, then increase the duty cycle. So that's the difference a little bit in these algorithm. If you are using the reference voltage or are using I have implemented this one as our function is totally based on duty cycle. So let's come back to this one. So that's the perturbed and observed algorithm. It's taking V and I of the PV and calculating the again we will be inside calculating the power. So it's the function here. You can see that perturbed and observed algorithm taking V and I, and here we are finding whether the P was greater or reduced, whether the P was greater than -1, less than 1, or greater than 1. So accordingly we will be increasing or decreasing the delta as discussed earlier with the flow chart. And after the finding the optimal duty cycle, we will be converting that duty cycle to a PWM. As we have buck boost converter, so we have to operate that switching. So here is the PWM generator, just a sawtooth and after passing through a saturation, it will be, the output will be like a duty cycle. Adding within a duty cycle this switching and passing through this saturation function, limiter function, the output will be just like a PWM, and this PWM will be supplied to the, and this PWM will be supplied to this MPPT, and this MPPT will be operated at maximum power point to extract the maximum power from this PV module to this load. So in this model we have plotted some important characteristics to analyze the model. So first of thing, we have plotted the power of the PV that was generated here and the power that was delivered to the load. So we will be comparing these both plots. So again, the output and the input of this, the boost converter, that's the input voltage and that's the output voltage here. So we are plotting it here, and this one is the, we are plotting the PV voltage and PV current, and the last thing we are plotting the output power of a PV with respect to a D. So by increasing or decreasing, what will be the effect on PV module. So let's see the simulations that here. Simulation is still running, I think. So if you can see that the yellow one is the output power of the PV, and the lower one is the output power that was delivered to the load. And similarly, if you see the other graph plots, we'll again see all those. This is the output voltage and this is the input voltage. This is the boost converter input. The upper one is the output voltage, it's the input voltage of the boost converter. And these are the PV currents and voltages. When the simulation ends, I will again share you all these simulation to you. So let's stop it. It's taking too much time. So let's see the output power that was released. So as I already discussed that at the start, the GA is constant, then decreasing, and then increasing, then constant, then decreases. The same trend is being followed by the power. As the G is, we deliberately change in this way to check the versatile with the behavior of this our MPPT. It's working well, it's following this. The output power is exactly trying to match this, the power generated by the PV. So you can see that the output power is almost approaching this, the power generated by this PV. Similarly, this is the input and output power of this is the input power to the MPPT buck boost converter. This is the output power to the buck boost converter. This is the voltage and this is the current, as these are affected by the behavior of the G. As the G is almost changing in the same manner, it's in the start it's constant, and then 0.2 it start to decreasing, and then again it's increasing, and then constant, and then decreasing. So the same behavior can also be observed in the current. So the last thing, the plot of the power against the duty cycle. So you can see that the power is being, the voltage, the duty cycle is being increased or decreased with the passage. As the G is increasing, the power is increased or decreased to achieve the maximum power point. So you have seen that this model is performing very well. We have perfectly implemented some research papers. The model of we have used this author whose paper are well published. The name of the author is Akihiro. This is the author. We have used the total modeling of this for the PV side, and this is the well published paper, and these are the results. If you have any question, you can ask in comment. Thank you very much for your time. Keep on watching our channel for more research simulations. There will be also a series of lectures for the designing of hybrid renewable energy systems. Keep watching this electrical and control channel. There are playlists in hybrid energy design, so there is a series of lectures are there, so you can design any hybrid like this one, and hybrid system including wind, PVs and research. So we have also simulated this paper from A to Z. We have also simulated in this field much more simulations and research. If you have inquiry, you can also email us. Email is given in the description. And secondly, if you have order, you can also ask us. We will help you to simulate that model. Thank you again.